With the smile too.
Nice.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to another episode of
HUI with HOKA.
Episode 18 is the 2nd of December 2023. Today we've got, of course, myself behind the lens, the man, the myth, the legend. There he is, Mr. Timothy Stevens from Adapt Media. He will tell you more about this at the end of the podcast. To capture some magic, and the magic today evolves around Mr. Ethan the Beyblade Brockett.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Great to be here. Great to be here.
Good to have you for the second time.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
Introduce yourself before we start, and then I'm gonna link this back to part one.
Okay, where do I start? So I go by the name of Ethan the Beyblade Brockett, aka Mr. If you want some, I'll give it to you. I'm 22 years old and I'm born and raised from Hamilton, so shout out to the Tron as always. The way I would describe myself, so pretty much I believe my philosophy is we only get one spin around the world, you know, pun intended for spin, but I believe you only get kind of one shot at life once everything's said and done, like that's it. So I feel like my goal is to make life as spectacular as possible, you know. So before my time's said and done, I want to drive the flashiest cars. I want to have the flashiest clothes on my skin. I want the flashiest jewelry around my wrist and my fingers and my neck. And I also want to be like a household name. But I feel like my avenue to achieve those things is through mixed martial arts. So yeah, goals to be on the GOAT list for MMA. And yeah. Say I'm chasing greatness, but having fun while I'm doing it. So yeah, that's what it is when it comes to me.
Introduction to your future documentary.
I hope so. Maybe that would be pretty good. But yeah, that's it's pretty much what it is when it comes to me. So
Wow. All right. Well, I just have to look at my notes for a second because yeah, today marks the 1 year, 1 month anniversary of our first conversation.
Crazy.
That was without Tim. That was basically when I started off, you know, like with what am I going to name this, HUI with HOKA, and just, you know, trying to evolve and finding guests and like making this all work. And back then it was over the phone, a little app called Anchor, and terrible quality, lots of mistakes. But here we are today, a year and a month later, and just time flies. And
absolutely,
the whole thing today is around Ethan Beyblade Brockett 2.0, because it's also 2.0 of the conversation. And yeah, however you introduced yourself, pound for pound, best MMA fighter in the world was the goal that you set out that, you know, wanted to achieve or want to achieve one day. And you did take some huge steps over the course of 2023 to get there. Major, minor, you can look at it the way you want to, but you're definitely moving into that direction. Yeah, 2023 was your coming out party, I would say, on the Australasia MMA scene, because in April you fought on Hex, Australia.
yes, yep, Path to Hex, yeah, which is the kind of, I don't know, if people aren't really into MMA or kind of close to the scene, like Hex is the professional show. Kind of one of the more premier shows in Australia. Path to Hex is kind of that amateur show to that, but in terms of amateur shows, it's probably one of the best I've fought on, and probably one of the better ones out there that you can get your name on. So
yeah, because then they scope you out for the pro show afterwards.
Yeah, it is
maybe
like a really good pathway for.
Yeah, solid performance there, and then quick turnaround. In May, you fought on Taranaki versus Aotearoa as well. That was two weeks apart?
Yeah, that was 2 weeks apart, those two fights. Yeah, that was it was interesting actually, because I was scheduled to fight on the Taranaki show first, and then you were there actually, which is kind of funny. 2 weeks before that show, I think we were celebrating, or what were we celebrating that night? It was like your birthday. Or was it?
Must have been April. Is my
was
birthday?
it you? Yeah, it was your birthday, and I obviously wasn't partaking in any alcoholic beverages, but we had like our friends over at at the flat.
Oh, yeah.
And we were kind of like celebrating. And then I just got like a message from Carlo, my head coach, or our head coach. And he was just like, hey, you want to go to Melbourne next weekend?
We did celebrate my New Zealand residency.
Yes, that was it. I knew we were celebrating something, but yeah, it was something.
And my birthday, kind of like both at the same time.
So that was like, that kind of just, it was a Saturday night. And then it was
I
like,
remember
you
you sitting at the table.
Friday, yeah. And I got a message on the table and I'm like, look guys, I guess I'm going to Melbourne next week. So
yeah. And it was quite funny because we looked at each other and he was like, well, this is what I'm doing this for. So of course I'm going to take the fight.
Nice.
And then, off he went. But then, of course, those two successful, you know, some solid performances. But the performance that I would like to point out now and go a bit deeper onto is in July. Do you want to say a little bit about that? That was on the...
so that was Shuriken Fight Series, yeah.
Thank you. That is when we talked about HEX in Australia, the Shuriken Fight Series in New Zealand is pretty much the biggest for amateurs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like by far. Like that is the one to establish your name on and go far. And that was actually a title eliminator against Ram Didumo, who is fighting tonight.
Yeah, he is King in the Ring, yeah.
King in the Ring, 8-man, super middleweight against one of CORE's own as well, Dion Wilson.
Yeah, shout out to Dion Wilson.
Shout out to Dion.
Go well, brother.
Fucking good luck, mate. And because I feel like that was, I mean, the year's not over yet and we've got some other parties to spoil. But yeah, talk a bit about that experience, because you went into the fight knowing that would be the title eliminator for the lightweight title. Yeah,
so I just want to preface by saying that Shuriken is definitely like the premier show in New Zealand. Like whether it's amateur or pro, like if you're an MMA fighter in New Zealand, you definitely want to like get on that show. There's a number of reasons, but I think it is a well-respected, it's very well-run. Like, shout out to Jason Vorster, because he's done like...
Pioneer.
Yeah, amazing things. And he just got inducted into the New Zealand MMA Hall of Fame.
Oh, give him a little pucky.
Yeah. Which is definitely well-deserved. But just the production in that show, how they're kind of linked up with CSN&Z, makes it like quite accessible to see it. And the way that they kind of set up Event Finance Stadium in Auckland, it's like they just make it a really good night. And so really good opportunity to fight on that. And knowing it was against Ram, like I actually have a lot of respect for Ram. No personal beef. I don't know if people from the outside looking in think there's something there, but yeah, I think he's a really good fighter. And anytime you're fighting someone from City Kickboxing, it always kind of makes that fight that much more interesting, just because that is like the premier kind of MMA gym in a lot of people's eyes. And I'd actually heard of Ram before that fight. I knew who he was because he had done some work on the kickboxing scene. So I've heard of his name before, and I knew it was going to be like a pretty cool challenge. But yeah, the day, I think it was either the day of weigh-ins or the day before, I got a message from Jason saying like, hey, just so you know, like whoever wins this fight, like you'll get that shot at the Shuriken lightweight belt next, because it was a vacant title. So and I remember just thinking, wow, that this ups the stakes. Like this just makes the fight even cooler. And for that camp, Ram's quite like a unique fighter in the way, just also his frame, but also just like in the way that he fights. Like very long build, like very long reach. And just got like a very different kind of timing to most fighters, and just kind of way he strings, his shot selection's quite different. So did a lot of like study on that fight. Like I think I did like it was almost like a 37-minute breakdown on like his fights, and like sent it to my coaches, and we kind of came up with a game plan. But yeah, that fight was, how I'd describe it, was probably more like a chess match. It wasn't really like a back and forth barn burner, but it was definitely the most I've had to think in a fight. Usually you're just kind of reacting, seeing what the other person's doing and just kind of taking the fight as it comes. But that was the most that I found myself kind of thinking in there and kind of plotting the next plan of attack. But yeah, when it was a 3-round fight, went all 3 rounds, and I was able to come away with the decision. I think in large part just being able to mix the takedowns in, the ground control. I feel like I did have some good exchanges on the feet, but yeah, I feel like what won that fight was mixing in the grappling. Just made a bit more of a well-rounded fight on my end. But that night was pretty crazy, because that's probably the most recognized I've got after a fight. I remember that was the first time I've ever actually had to like turn my phone off like after a fight.
Really?
Just because of like the notifications I was getting, especially on like Instagram, like just from random people. Because usually after a fight, you know, you get messages from all the people you care about, you know, all your family and friends. But I was just getting messages from randoms like, "Hey, good fight, bro," like mean stuff. And I was just like, "I don't know who this guy is, but yeah, thanks." And I think like my following went up by like 60 people or something, which in the grand scheme of things like isn't a lot, but for someone who hasn't reached, well, at that time I wasn't at 1,000 followers, I think that got me to 1,000 followers.
But look, if the door opens right now and there's 60 people walking into this room, then all of a sudden you're like, oh, 60 people is quite a lot.
Yeah.
You know, getting one person's attention, I think that's admirable. And you worked hard for it, because not just the film studies, the training and everything like prior to that, you know, like what a formidable opponent, you know, like coming from City Kickboxing. I think his former nickname was second to last style bender, which is, I'm not trying to take anything away from him, you know, he's, if you would like squint your eyes together, you know, they move very similar.
Yeah, they've got like a similar frame.
And he takes a lot of, you know, like we all do, he takes a lot of inspiration from him. He's his teammate, maybe he's mentoring him a little bit. Like he is like, when the fight got announced and you told me, and I was like, whoa, this is definitely a huge step up, you know, because he is really good. Like,
there were some people I told the fight, like not you guys, but some people who can't tapped into that kind of space, who I'll tell them about, and they go, "Oh, you're fighting Ram. Oh, okay." And they'll kind of give me this look like, "Good luck with that." But yeah, it was just cool to like get that someone like with his kind of name, because he is from Auckland, and I feel like the crowd was more pro him.
Yes. There was actually a moment I told you afterwards, because I was in the crowd with one of our friends, Ibrahim, and this City Kickboxing does that so well, but I think also it's the way it should be. When one of their fighters, or usually they have a few on for the Shuriken fight series, you know, they show up in numbers. It's pretty much, it feels like the whole gym is there, and not just in the crowd, like backstage as well. But what I take a lot of inspiration from, or took that night, was when the fighter or their fighter was walking out, they all walked like with their fighter, not like to the ring or like, you know, on the sides, and like they were all there, and then they had like the corner. I mean, just the corner.
Yeah, star-studded corner.
Yeah, like who was in his corner again? Was it?
So Dan Hooker was probably the most notable for the guys watching. I think you had Andre Paulette and Mike Angrove. But I could hear Israel. Eugene was not there.
Was he not there?
He was with Volkanovski at a fight close to that. I think
he was. Or maybe I'm like mixing this all in with everyone else was there. He must have been.
Well, we have cornered.
Against
Eugene,
Eugene and Israel down in Dunedin. Yes.
But I could hear Israel like the whole fight.
Yeah, he was very vocal.
Voice. Yeah, like I couldn't see him, but I could hear him. And then when I watched the tape back, he was kind of like sitting behind their corner. So that was like pretty cool detail, just to like have like names like that, like even just watching the fight. But it's actually pretty cool that they were like cheering against me in a way. Like I know that might sound weird to people, but it's like, oh no,
like you just take it as like motivation, and you try to you know, use it for yourself. I mean, but like I said, that's really cool that they do it, because you know, you got to support your people, because even though he's an amateur and whatnot, it doesn't really matter, you know, like they all feed off each other, and it seems like they have a good gig going there, and a good chemistry, and the team dynamic is like very well formed, so good on them. Title eliminator, and you've done something afterwards that you have done prior, but you know, it was like the biggest stage, and like I was saying, the coming out and the notifications and whatnot, they speak for itself. The singing. Where you really utilized the post-fight interview.
I'm gonna be honest, that was not off the cuff. I had that planned out for probably since the fight was announced, to be fair. But A lot of people asked, was that directed at someone, or they asked for like a deeper meaning? The truth was there wasn't really like a deep meaning behind it. And it wasn't, hey, if someone wants to claim it, absolutely you can claim it. But that wasn't directed at anyone. But I think it was with Ezra. Ezra Bergen, shout out Ezra Bergen for people that know him. But since we lived together, we were just sitting, just having food, and I think one of us just brought up the comment like, how funny would it be if just like after the fight you just kind of like sang? And I'm just like, yeah, that would be like kind of funny. And I'm like, maybe I should do that.
Because you do it all the time.
And he's like, dude, if you do that, that would be hilarious. And like, this was like even before the fight was announced, so that kind of just like stuck with me. And I'm actually a pretty big fan of Tyson Fury, and he's done that on a couple occasions. So it's just like, I guess part of fighting, like you got to be a bit memorable, you know, whether you're doing it in the ring or out of the ring. And even though we're not making money from being amateurs, I feel like the more I can build the fan base, the more I can stand out. It's just going to be to my benefit. So yeah, I just kind of busted into a song. Hold On, We're Going Home by Drake. And I'll be the first to admit, my singing is absolute dog shit. But it was just, I think it just caught a lot of people by surprise. It was just that shock factor that kind of...
legit he just won and he's singing?
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
And what made that so much better, because I didn't know it at the time, but in the live stream, they're cutting back and forth between me and this girl in the crowd singing it, and I didn't know who it was. I couldn't even see her, but it just made it, like, shout out to that girl, whoever she was, because she just made that like 10 times better. Like, she's like getting up, like really getting into it, and yeah. That's,
what it shows that it catches on, eh?
Yeah. It's like, it's infectious, I guess, that type of energy, but...
But how about the formalities here? So title eliminator, you won. Any news on when that is about to happen? And
yeah, so I don't know how much I can say. I mean, I have been talking back and forth with Jason, and he said it's still on the table for April. So Shuriken will be having a fight in April. He said he wants the lightweight amateur fight to be on that card.
So April 2024.
Yeah. As to who that's against, I don't know at the moment.
That's fine.
But hey, I'm not picky.
Just making sure he follows up on his promises.
Yeah, so I didn't fight on the last Shuriken. There's a little bit of communication issues there, just between like my side and kind of their side. But it's all good. There's no
it could have happened earlier.
Maybe, but it was also like the Knees of Fury fight. The Cage of Fury fight I was fighting on was also like kind of interweaving with that, and that was like a week before it. So it just, I think it was just kind of a little bit bad at timing, but we're all good, and he's happy to have me on that show, and yeah, that's definitely something I'm going to be looking forward for. Yeah,
because thank you for pointing that out. Then it was the Cage of Fury title that you claimed also. I mean, you can talk about that as well, but you know, Shuriken title, Cage of Fury title, you officially claimed as well after another stellar performance and singing.
Yeah,
and
singing again.
The year's not even over yet. So do you want to tap into the Cage of Fury as well, or?
Yeah, I mean, we could talk a little bit about that. So that one was a short notice one. I was trying to get on that card, but I couldn't quite get matched up. Ezra, the opponent that I fought was originally going to be for Ezra Bergen. Unfortunately, I think it was 2 weeks or a week before he like injured his shoulder really bad at a wrestling tournament, and like pretty much tore like all the main ligaments in like his shoulder. So I was pretty much just like the fill-in guy for him. I wasn't like off the couch, but it definitely was a fight that I didn't have like a month or 6 weeks to prepare for. But yeah, I did really want to get on that card just because it had been a while since I'd fought like in Hamilton, and man,
That's your city.
Yeah, that's my city, baby. So yeah, that was like a really cool night. That was 5 rounds as well, which is what made that fight interesting. Like lately in the amateur title fights, they've still been doing 3-minute rounds. That one was 5 3-minute rounds. And it was actually against like a pretty good guy. Krin Tanuvasa. Who from King's Academy, which is like another like established gym out of Auckland, and they've produced like a lot of good fighters. And he definitely was a challenge in that fight, but I just feel like I was a bit more well-rounded in that fight. I was able to like mix in takedowns, mix in a bit of spins, just kind of kept him guessing the whole time. But the energy in that, even though the YMCA is probably not like the biggest arena, the energy packed into that arena is just like electric, man. Like, it's a really cool setup there. Like, shout out to Ethan Shep, because Cage of Fury is definitely Hamilton's premier show. Knees of Fury's already been like a established like kickboxing show throughout New Zealand, but credit to him, he's starting to make it more. He's trying something different. He's trying to add more MMA fights and do kickboxing, Muay Thai in a cage with small gloves. So I really hope that takes off and that starts to compete with one of the top promotions.
And that was the only MMA fight on the whole card, and that just shows, that also shows to me, I don't know how Ethan went about it, but to give you, Ethan Shep, give you, Ethan Brockett, the chance, to be on the card, and then also, that was the first ever title in MMA they, announced, and then, he claimed after, a pretty, I wasn't there myself in person because I was in Europe, but what I heard from all of our friends and training partners is almost like at will, you were able, sometimes, you just have it going for you, and apparently that night it was like dominating.
Cage of Fury just gone?
Yes, that was the one. I just felt like I was able to find my flow like quite early on in that fight, and I just felt like since the first round my momentum just kept building, and it was just good feeling when you have that in a fight, I guess, like when you can just.
So April, May, July, then Cage of Fury, eventually, recently, more or less, but the year's not over yet, so.
It is not over, job's not finished,
What else?
So,
tell us.
People who follow my Instagram, Beyblade Brockett, may have seen that I said fight news coming soon. So I've had to hold off on it a little bit, but pretty much on December 9th, I will be fighting in Tahiti. So James Bond's type stuff, going overseas, worldwide. I hope so, right? Just to add to it. There's still a little bit of moving parts there. So my original opponent, this has just been happening recently. My original opponent 2 days ago, unfortunately got injured, so he pulled out. So it looks like we have a replacement. It's not 100% confirmed, which is why I was kind of holding off on making the announcement, but I'm glad we can have the inside scoop on HUI with HOKA, right? What better place to do it? It's not 100% confirmed, but I'm pretty confident within the next day or two, I'll have that next opponent.
Well, you said 95%, that's pretty much close.
Yeah, pretty much close. It's just a couple of things we got to iron out, but pretty confident.
What a cool experience, after Australia.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then, you went to Australia before for the Oceanias, but, now going to Tahiti, and then who knows what's there in the future, but getting another one under the belt before, the year comes to an end. And who knows, we had 2 week turnarounds, maybe there is another one hiding, you never know.
Never know, eh? That's a good thing about the fight business.
Yeah,
it can sneak up at you in any moment.
But the main question remains, for me, I know, but the people don't know, is I pointed it out at the beginning of the conversation, Ethan 2.0, so not just the MMA skills, honing the skills, training and doing all of that, that takes its toll. Plus you work, full time, and you run one of the kids programs at CORE Mixed Martial Arts for jiu-jitsu and wrestling, and some is stand-up related as well. So you devote a lot of time to that. You added singing, promoting yourself, fashion.
What can I say,
jewelry, whatever, I call it the package. He secured the package, and it's a pretty tight one too. So it seems like over the course of the last year and a month or so ago, up until this point from the last time we spoke, you are starting to find yourself. You understand that fighting MMA, it's not just about fighting MMA. It's about a bit of entertainment, quite a lot of entertainment, you know. Look, you could have won the fight against Ram. That is an accomplishment itself, you know. Like I said, what an absolute killer the guy is. He's so skilled and whatnot. But you added on, you know, with the post-fight singing, and not just the singing, the interview, the way you worded everything, and the way you took the crowd. I was like, man, I had goosebumps. But yeah, you got to give the viewer something to chew on. And it seems like you found that gum somewhere in your pocket. How did it get there? And what brought you to this point?
It's a bit of a long story, but
We've got a bit of time.
So Ethan 2.0 actually started off as a document on my tablet. And the reason that is, well, it's actually kind of full circle now. When I talked about the last podcast, how I lost that fight in Brisbane and Oceania to Mitch Kelly,
who will also be part of this conversation.
Okay, shout out Mitch Kelly. Dislocated my arm. I came home from the flight, and I remember sitting there, and I'm just like, well, I'm gonna be out for a while. Can't train. I can't work. So there's not much I can do. So that Ethan 2.0 almost became like a coping mechanism for me. Just something I could like sink my time into and just like kind of put my mind into. And it started off as just like how to improve my MMA style. Like it started off as like a technical thing. And then the more I kind of did it, it just turned into like, what do I want to like my image to be? Like instead of just improvements in MMA, it's like improvements I can make as a person, like how I can make in relationships I have with friends, with family, like how can I express myself more? Like it just kind of was like an honest review on myself as a person, and how I can upgrade myself and improve myself, like in every kind of aspect of life. So that was definitely like the start of Ethan 2.0.
To be released still, and I hope you keep that document to yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, because I was gonna hand it off to a coaches and show like some of my friends, but I don't think it's something I could ever finish.
No,
like,
and you did tell me, I asked you so many times, like, because you did say, I'm going to send you a document.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, where's the document? The document, you never sent the document.
Every time I'd open it, I'd add more stuff to it.
Yeah, that's good.
More stuff to it. And I just feel like if you're on the quest for self-improvement, it's never going to be finished. You're always going to find ways to improve different aspects of your life. Like you're never going to be perfect.
I don't know what your opinion is.
Closer to perfection each time. Like,
but keep that secret, you know. Keep that little booklet, that little document, however you structure it. Like, keep it to yourself, you know. I mean, you will know when it's time, you know, to share it with someone.
And you'll know.
But so far, it's like I don't even want to see it. It's working for you.
Absolutely.
Keep it. You know, keep it, because it's it's definitely there. So it started with the document, and then what do you like? I can give you some prompts if you want. Is there any adopted philosophies, keys? What are the keys to express yourself, in your opinion, for instance?
I like to, as I mentioned on a previous podcast, I played a lot of fighting games growing up, like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, and I like to relate it to this. So in MMA, obviously, one way you can sell yourself is by fighting. You know, your fighting style, how you win, like the performances you give off in the fight and the competition. But there's also a bunch of different ways you can market yourself and express yourself. So I relate it to fighting games as like, take like Ryu for example. Like everyone knows he throws a Hadouken, you know, everyone knows like he throws good punches and kicks. But I like to always think about the character select screen in a fighting game, because there is so much expression that goes on in that. Like from the pose that they stand in, to the clothes that they wear, to the stuff that they say as you select them, to like the little movements that they make as they're gearing up to fight. Like it's all part of expression. So like one of the things that stands, it's crazy that I like think this deeply into it, but
I see a bit of Johnny Cage in you.
Absolutely. Of course. That's one of my favorite characters though in Mortal Kombat, because it's like Mortal Kombat is one of like the craziest, wacky, woven together stories ever, because it's like ninjas, robots, like monsters, aliens, and then you've got this one dude, Johnny Cage, who just like, he's a movie star, and it's like, the Mortal Kombat tournament is all about killing each other, and everyone knows that. The only reason he's at the tournament is because he thought like it was like a movie role. He didn't even understand what he was getting himself into, so it's just like, I love that about him, but I just think like, I'm kind of going on a bit of a tangent here. But I just think like the character screen in fighting, it's kind of like that's your almost one way to kind of show the person who's playing the game like why they should pick you. You know, it's like whether it's Ryu with his gi and he's like he says something, but for me it was always Sub-Zero. He's got like a iconic kind of look to him. He's always playing with some type of ice. He's got like this ninja outfit, and then he'll always say like an ice pun before you pick him, and you're like, oh damn, that guy's like pretty badass or something. Or like Smoke or something. He's like this warrior, he's another ninja, and he's got these smoke powers, and you click him and he goes like, where there's smoke, there's fire, and he's like, I like that guy, like I'm gonna keep at him. So I was kind of thinking, what can I do like outside of my performances in the cage to kind of give my message across and express myself to other people. And it's like the way that I talk, the way that I dress. I mean, I'd say I have quite like a luxurious taste. I definitely don't have a luxurious bank account. But hey, that's why thrift stores exist, right? So I definitely like the finer things in life, and I just own it, you know, like, and yeah, so it's like the way that you talk, the way that you dress, you know, the people that you hang around, it's all expression, you know. So I just try to like kind of channel those different ways into myself as a person, and then just kind of put it out there as I'm promoting myself for fighting, and it's started to work. I feel like I'm comfortable with who I am, and yeah, it started to work wonders, you know.
Definitely. I was just talking off camera with Tim about this before we started. That is quite interesting, to see someone that you know, like just becoming who they are, you know, by expressing themselves and being who they really are, like being authentic, you know, saying the things that they intend to say, and putting the clothes on that they want to put on, you know, it's whatever, it's their life. Let them do whatever they want to do, because if that makes them feel comfortable, if that makes them happy, you're not hurting anyone, you know. If someone doesn't want to pay attention to it, it's like flicking the channel, you know. If they don't want to look at your Instagram, just don't follow him. If you don't want to see him fight, just don't go to the fight. But if you're curious, if you want to see, if you know, if you like, it catches on, and why wouldn't you, you know? It's entertainment in the end of the day, and you somehow, apart from work, gotta, you know, kill 24 hours. You gotta eat, sleep, whatever you want to do, you know. And if they want to contribute some time towards like following your journey, then good on them, you know. And you're definitely giving them something to be excited about.
But you're giving them something in return. So what I see a lot of fighters do is they do the fight. I think that's enough.
Yeah.
Like that's expected already. We've been doing this for years now, guys. Fighting's been around. You're not anything new. But when you come in with an entertainment, you message them, you do something to, I don't know, make that night more valuable, memorable. It's a payback. I think that pays you dividends.
Yeah, absolutely. I think people got to keep in mind, like, when you're fighting and you put off a good performance, you're not really breaking it into another market, because everyone that's witnessed that performance is already a fight fan. Like, if you want to break into like mainstream media or new fans, you got to kind of find different avenues. So whether if it's a video of you on Instagram talking, or it's like it's a video of like the clothes that you're wearing on Instagram, like what else is going to like get people kind of interested in you? Like, is it like they're scrolling down their feed and they're like, oh, that guy's wearing a turtleneck, like what's this guy about, you know? But
like, you're actually wearing it. It's not just for that sake, you know, like we go out,
and it's got to be genuine, 100%. Like, I genuinely love wearing turtlenecks, you know, like I genuinely love wearing dress pants. I genuinely love wearing loafers. Like, it's not, none of this is forced. No. I would just say before I would kind of reserve it and kind of keep it under a lock a little bit. But now I'm just like,
even the hair.
Yeah, well, the hair, this is just, I don't know, this is something different. This was actually my original hair color, believe it or not. So maybe it's
You were
paying
blonde?
homage. I was strawberry blonde, yep, from that age of being born. I think it started to change around when I was like 10 or something, yeah. That fun fact for you, so yeah. But yeah, I feel like
Fresh cut barbershops, hey?
fresh cut barbershops, right? Shout out to them, right? You want a fresh cut, you go to them, they'll hook you up. But yeah, I forgot my point was. But yeah, fighting in a cage and having a best performance is only going to reach a market that is already there. You know, how can you reach another market? You know, and fighting's a business, whether people want to admit it or not. I know people sometimes hate hearing that because they think it's sport and competition. It's a business, you know, like you have to be able to market yourself and you have to be able to do things that can reach into the mainstream media so you can get that extra revenue. So that's just kind of my way of looking at it, but has to be genuine or else people will see right through it. It's
Yeah, I guess so.
quite obvious if it's not genuine. So yeah.
It's big mental health risk too if it's not.
Oh, 100%.
It's like if someone came in here and was like, I'm gonna hate your blue hair. You're not offended. I don't have blue hair. Versus if you're like trying to pretend that you have blue hair and you put a lot of effort into, you know, sport that people could be saying, hey, I like your blue hair, and they say I don't like your blue hair.
Yeah, if you're doing it like trying to please people, that's just like a really it's just a windy road. If
Tap into it, because one of the things that I put down here as well, and when we conversed before, was the flaws, the problems, the adversity as a martial artist or like mixed martial art competitor, or you know, like everything, the whole package that we just described. You know, that it's not just competing and fighting. The people already expect that, but do you want to tap into that? What are they?
I'll say personally for me, I won't generalize it because I feel like everyone's different, but for me, the main kind of criticism I've had for myself is I can't really find balance between other things. I feel like pretty much all my life is so centered around like martial arts that I kind of feel like one of my goals this year is to try to find other things like outside of martial arts I can spend my time on, and I've just failed miserably at that. But yeah, it's like when you become, I suppose it goes for all things outside of martial arts, but when you become so obsessed with other things, it can be like a bit dangerous sometimes. Yeah, just trying to find that balance outside of like fighting, because it can just become like mentally fatiguing when your mind's just constantly on one thing, like day in and day out. I suppose like you have to have an element of that to be successful, you know, you have to be like a little bit obsessed, yeah, but it can, like if you're just not supplementing that with anything else, it can get, quite fatiguing. That's probably one of the hardest things I've found, like being part of like martial arts. It's like, just.
What do you use to switch off?
To be honest, I don't really know. Like I'm at the point where it's like, if I'm trying to like sit down and watch Netflix and like anything over 20 minutes, I just can't do it, you know? I just start thinking like, oh man, like I want to like watch some fights or something. Like I'll end up watching UFC Fight Pass more than I do Netflix. It can be quite hard to unwind. So yeah, that's a work in progress, I think. What do I do to unwind? Christian is still trying to find that.
Well,
Yeah.
I guess it's expression, and the opposite end is depression. And we talked about, you know, it can be mentally draining. You can like beat yourself up about it if that's your only thing in life.
Yeah.
However,
Just to add one more point to that.
please.
So Volkanovski, when he fought Makachev the second time he lost, he got head kicked. I remember him saying in a press conference, he's like, yeah, because he took the fight on like a week's notice, like less than a week, like he jumped in, took it. And in a press conference, they were kind of saying like, oh, is there any regrets? Like you kind of like wish you didn't take the fight? And he's like, well, the reason I took the fight is because I just can't really function when I'm like outside of camp, when I'm like not training, when I don't have a fight coming up. And that was like super relatable. And I think that probably was relatable to a lot of fighters, just because it does become like really addictive just to kind of like be in that atmosphere of like fighting and competing. And especially when you're in camp, because you're waking up with something to like look forward to every day, you know, like get better at fighting. Like I've got this amount of days till I have to perform. I got to get better at this, get better at this. And whether you win or lose, I feel like there always is like almost like a post-fight depression. There's almost like an area there because you're coming off such a high. Like even when I've won, it still happened. Like you come off such a high and you kind of come down and you're kind of just like, man, like what's next? I mean, I've been thankful this year because as I just said, I've like had like sometimes 2 weeks between fights. But yeah, like sometimes when there's a big long period between fights, you kind of feel like you're just stuck in like transit, you know, you're like, oh.
I gotta put my hand up and say now that this is something that I have observed within you, you know, over the last year and a bit, that you definitely can enjoy the moment more. Whatever's happening, you know, if it's, what have we done recently? We just went to, you know, forest, shared some food, you know, and just hang out, you know, like stop, smell the flowers, you know, there will be another fight soon. And I feel like the maturity within you, you know, you understand that way better now, other than just fight. Like going into that dip, I feel like you can maintain better now, being more happy with your surroundings, going for food, doing this, training a little less, you know, focusing on other things. So yeah, from a friend to a friend, you know, this is you know, it's growth. But yeah, we want to, of course, you know, mixed martial arts, that is your vehicle through life. This is how you want to get to where you want to be. Tim, question. What is the hand up?
No, just matching the energy, just like.
Yes.
Well,
you know, we want to keep you happy, and we want you to be happy.
Absolutely.
And mixed martial arts is your thing. So there's a gentleman that we mentioned earlier. Would you like to express yourself again, maybe in the future? Who knows? Against Mitch Kelly.
Yeah, man. I feel like I don't know really what Mitch's timeline is, whether he's going pro like soon or next year. I would really like to get that fight back.
But how about, don't you think it could happen as a pro as well?
It definitely could, yeah. I just think it's maybe could be a bit harder if we're both pro. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what his timeline is.
I think I have to wind back the clock here for a second, because that was part of the first podcast that we did. Ethan actually had a contest with Mitch Kelly in Brisbane, Australia. Funny fact, they were both on the New Zealand Oceania mixed martial arts amateur team at that time. And the way they ran the tournament to determine the Oceania champ was, you know, just lottery basically, but they versed in the first round. And yeah, it was like some sort of like slam takedown, call it whatever you want. Ethan landed on his arm, dislocated his elbow, had to get rushed to the hospital. And so Mitch won, advanced, and actually won the tournament. So congratulations, Mitch! Amazing job, and what a competitor. He's the #1 lightweight amateur in Australasia, actually. Still part of the New Zealand amateur team, and is the XFC lightweight champion too.
I don't believe he is.
You don't believe he is? I thought he would be. Anywho, like as far as it comes to, as far as it comes to lightweights in Australasia, he's #1, ranked #1, and he has a really good record. He is, man, you should see the dude. He is,
he's a specimen.
He's definitely a specimen, and he has like very controlled aggression. It's just a solid, you know, solid guy. You know, like is really determined. You know, probably has the same dream as you, and is just working really, really hard for it. But yeah, I was always curious if you want to get that one back at some point.
Yeah, I mean, in many ways, I actually have to kind of almost thank Mitch. I mean, that fight was almost like the catalyst for me to like make like so many changes in
Document.
100%, but also just like just my situation with like work and training now. Like I was a full-time tradesman before the fight when I fought him, And then after that fight, I was like, look, like I got to be like in the gym a bit more. So then I kind of fought for the company I was at, fought to have like part-time hours. Now I'm able to train mornings and nights. So that was like, yeah, and I've got to, if it wasn't for that fight, like who knows where I'd be now. Like that's kind of where it's like losing sucks, but it's essential for growth, you know? So I definitely got to be grateful for him in that aspect. But yeah, absolutely. I'd love to get that rematch back. Just because, one, obviously he's got a win over me, and two, he's the top guy in Australasia. So it's like, you know, I want to be the top guy.
Yeah,
you know?
and like I said, what a competitor. I think he would like that too. If it's not at amateur, because I think he's on the brink to turn pro as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
But he's not that much older than you also, you know. I mean, he's got a few years, but I'm not too sure. He's pretty young also, so that could happen definitely at some point.
Yeah, I mean, hey, whether
just
it's on XFC or Shuriken, who knows? But I feel like that would
for the storyline, it would be good too. You know, I think he would be interested in it as well, because
I hope so.
most likely chasing the same dreams. But yeah, expression yet again. If that's happening, maybe not happening, other fights, whatnot. You know, like expression keeps you happy. You know, putting yourself out there. How about like let's say you have one of those moments, you know, training is done, you know, maybe you just won a fight recently and you're driving to dinner with the boys.
Okay.
It's a Saturday afternoon, you know, you had a good S&C session in the morning. What are you wearing? What are you putting on to feel good? Give us the outfit.
A lot of it, it's variable. So we're going to dinner. And we're going to a restaurant.
You can choose that for yourself. Maybe let's say it's the post-fight just meal 2 weeks after.
Okay. Well, I'll be the first to say there are many times where I'm overdressed and I love it. I have no problem with being overdressed, you know. I think dinner with the boy. What weather? With summer, winter?
Oh, Ethan Makachev.
This is all part of it.
You make it up in your head. Create the perfect scenario and what you're wearing.
Okay.
How are you gonna express yourself?
Start with your shoes.
Shoes has to be dress shoes. Like
loafers.
Nothing against sneakers, but dress shoes are a big.
What color?
Usually they're all black. All the dress shoes I own. I've got 2 loafers and I've got some boots.
I'm yet to see you in a suit actually.
Yeah.
We might need collaboration with the Dorset suits.
Hey, get at me if you want to see
transition.
it. Absolutely. I'm not going to turn that down, but
the embroidery on the inside is going to be like champ or something.
Oh, that would be beautiful. I would. Yeah, so definitely loafers. Dress pants. Now, here's where it comes in for me. You either have to have plain pants and a bit of a pattern on the shirt, or you have to have a plain shirt and a bit of a pattern on the pants. And what I mean by that is kind of like when the dress pants, like whether they're kind of like checkered or not, that kind of thing. So I would probably go plain t-shirt.
Yeah.
Just a t-shirt. And then I would go the dress pants with the kind of checkered patterning on it, with the loafers. I'd wear the chain, just because I feel like chain is just like, almost like a stat boost. You put a chain on, you get like, no matter if it's the thinnest shoelace chain or if it's like this big mega chain with a big emblem, it adds like 35 points to each stats, you know? Like,
a lot of points.
It is, but it's just, it makes you something different. Like once you feel that click around your neck, you're like, I can attack the world right now. Like, I think the person who...
It's like getting a haircut.
Yes, absolutely. And I think the person who cures cancer will probably be wearing a chain. That's going to be my bold prediction. Whether it's a scientist, he'll have a chain on, I think.
All right.
But yeah, so it'll be a chain.
Turns out it's like a prisoner.
Can you imagine?
A chain.
Yeah, he's like in chains. Like he's like... Hey, where do things
still
happen,
going
right?
though? Still going.
It's like a dog with a leash around it.
Oh man.
But yeah,
Sunglasses on or off?
Yeah, of course.
sunglasses on.
big
Even when people say don't wear sunglasses in buildings,
Nah.
shut up.
Yeah.
Wear your sunglasses in buildings. It's all just accessories, man.
I
Like,
was wearing my glasses at your fight. Everyone thought I was on something. I was just it's
Which one?
bright At Cage of Fury. I was like, there's enough lights in here. It's bright enough.
and it adds a little element of mystery, you know? It doesn't reveal all of it. And then,
Around the room and not have to worry about when you look eyes with someone. Just keep staring in that direction.
and when you take
That's
them
a
off,
very smart move.
yeah. But when you take them off, it's always like a bit like, oh, okay. Like, hello, who's this guy?
We're going too deep into this. I just wanted another outfit.
Well,
run.
you could get me talking all day.
No.
But
We
loafers, dress pants, plain shirt, bit of jewelry, fresh haircut. That's what I'm going to be wearing.
There's the answer.
done. That's what I wanted, but we went on a bit of an tangent, which is fine. How about you driving to a date? What music, what song is playing in the car that you sing along to get you in the mood for that date? It's date number 2, by the way.
See, I've got a playlist on Spotify called Peanut Butter and Jam, and it's kind of just like more like sing-along kind of songs. I like a bit of... Drake's got some good ones. Sing a bit to Drake. I would say... What song though? You want a specific song?
I would like to, that was the question. Date number 2, I think that's an important factor
Yeah,
to
so
consider.
this is when you've really got to like, you know...
You're ready in the
feel it,
recall.
You know, yeah. So you want... okay. What song's playing? I would say... Passion Fruit by Drake.
Boom. Done.
Yeah.
Take it.
Yeah. Add that to the playlist for anyone who hasn't heard that song.
How about, I mean, we could, link this back. I mean, best case scenario even, let's say Mitch Kelly is down and this is going to be your first pro MMA fight. In a perfect world, what a storyline, win, lose, draw, whatever happens there, we cannot predict. But let's say you win. You win the fight, What is hang on, I gotta look at my notes. What is the scene? What is the vibe? Are you going to a club? Are you going to wear your chains out? What are you going to do?
Yeah, so I always plan my outfits pre-fight and post-fight.
There's another one.
Yeah. I think I'd wear something really special for that occasion. See, okay, this is just theoretical, but this is what I'd want, right? I don't know where I'd get these articles of clothing, but this would be like ideal. So, loafers, dress pants, all white tucked in dress shirt.
Yeah.
And then over the top, does anyone want to guess? I don't feel like you'd guess because it's not like
a coat.
Bulletproof vest.
Oh wow! Oh no, you did have similar.
It's similar. I was going for that, but yeah, it would be a bulletproof vest.
Yeah. I see where the storyline goes with this.
And I would still rock the jewelry.
Of course.
Hopefully, by that time, I've got some new jewelry. Hopefully, that Christmas pay is pretty juicy. Let's hope. But
when you go out one day, you should hire someone who's holding an umbrella for you. I think that would be a good.
Just the title.
That would be a fucking laugh, eh?
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
Hi, I'm paparazzi.
Yeah.
Just like for a piss take, like why not? Like someone like you go into like house in Hamilton and someone's like coming up to take photos and then everyone's like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah, someone in all black with like air face, like,
Have you seen that social experiment they did on that guy?
Yes.
How it's should we really go on?
No, maybe not that one, but like it's pretty common.
Yeah,
like,
long story short, this guy who actually wasn't anybody put on some nice clothes, hired a bunch of like groupies, hired a bunch of like interviewers and cameras to follow him around. And I think let's just say his name was Mark Johnson or whatever. Or was his name Keith?
I don't know.
Keith Johnson. Let's name his name is Keith Johnson. And they told the crowd two things. They said Keith was in Spider-Man, and also Keith is a successful artist and a songstress on the radio.
Oh, yeah.
So people would come up. No one knew who he was. Like, so they'll come up, ask for a photo. Oh my God, it's Keith. People were like crying. They're like,
saw you in that movie.
yeah.
You
They're like,
did so good in that
So then they'll interview him like, oh, so what do you think of Keith's role in Spider-Man? The dude's not in Spider-Man. They're like, oh my God, I loved it. Even though it was a minor part, like he played it so well, and he has like such a bright future in his next like roles. And it's like, oh, another person, what do you think of his song? And they're like, Yeah, I heard it on the radio the other day. Like, it was I haven't really heard any of his other songs, but that one song, like, it really hooked me into his music. Like, they're just making up, like, excuses of how they know this person.
Halfway through their answer, that they actually don't know.
No.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not about to say that on TV.
But it's also well-rounded of, like, how your image can almost just, like, betray you to be something else.
Yeah, of course, like, I'm spinning this further, but let's say you buy yourself some Instagram followers, then they would go onto your profile, they see, no matter where they come from, that you have a following, and then they jump on the bandwagon. I can see that happening.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it? I don't know, just going further with this. Anywho, fuck, that was quite funny, actually. Like, I'm still, like, shedding a tear about, like, imagine, like, you walking in and someone, security or whatnot, or someone with an umbrella, like, I can vividly picture
it's like not even raining, but they're still holding an umbrella.
Yeah,
like,
it's not
like
about this is not about the rain at all.
The photo would be great. You're sitting there with your round glasses, and there's just someone standing there, like,
and they're not allowed to show emotion, eh? You have to
Yeah.
tell them, like, you can't
wear glasses
express
too.
anything. Yeah.
Or maybe they wear a mask or something, and then you know, like, push this thing even further. Who knows? You know, whatever's out of the box gets the attention, I guess. Ethan, we're gonna get to a stage now where you can either tap into a subject that you would like to discuss that is completely up to you. Yeah. You can share something that you would like to share with the world, or you can turn this around and ask me a question, Tim a question, ask a question. That's completely up to you. But yeah, just one of the last segments here today. Anything in mind?
Interesting. Okay, I'm going to think about this because I want this to be I think I'll have a topic of discussion.
Yeah, go.
So the topic of discussion is going to be growth within males. Mm-hmm. And it's good because I feel like Tim has kids, and not yet, but as I would assume as a parent or as a father, you would want to give your kids like the best life you can give them, right? Like, you wouldn't want them to struggle. But do you guys think to be a certain stature of man and to build character, you need to go through like some degree of struggle? You need to go through some kind of challenge to kind of make you into like actually a man. Like, that's what turns a boy into a man. But I guess for you, Tim, it's a bit different because it's like, do you want to see your kids go through that, you know? Like, can you ideally just make them into a man without like showing them that? So I guess the question is, A, do you think you have to go through hardship to reach a certain point as a person or as a man? And as a parent, do you want your kids to go through that, or do you want to explore another avenue that they can become like a good person without going through any struggle?
No, you go first, but my answer is I change the yes for certainly you have to. But I give the mic to Tim for now.
I agree.
How about you start from the parenting perspective? Because that's something that you can answer straight away.
Would I want to see my kid go through something hard? Absolutely. Because nothing good has ever come from something easy. And I know, like, okay, it's not necessarily going to feel good of watching them in pain. But I guess when you've gone through something painful, you know that that's giving them body armor later in life. It's giving them experience. I guess if my kid chose to be there, it would be a different story versus if I made them be there. It would depend on that. If my kid was like, hey, I want to be in a wrestling tournament, and they're in that tournament and they're sucking and they're crying, they're upset, I like that. Because that means you either get to massively reflect on your performance if you don't get the outcome, and if you do get the outcome, you also get to see that it can suck before it gets good. Or that's just how winning feels, or that's just how losing feels, but you chose to be there. What can you learn? Harder if I'm the one. It's like, no, you have to be here. Do this. As first parent, I'm not sure exactly on all the strategies. I don't trust a lot of the generic stuff, but then I've done it before, so it's hard. It's hard, but I absolutely want to see my kids do hard things.
Yeah.
Definitely, especially when I get my goals achieved, they're going to have access to resources. I do not want them to grow up with everything too easy, because then it'll just make being an adult way harder on their own.
Yeah. Because I guess there's like the other side to that. It's like some people go through such like hardship and struggle that it alters their life forever. and they end up, you know, on kind of the back end, and it's like they were having a good life, their trajectory was looking good, something bad's happened, it's completely altered them, and then they've hit rock bottom and have never been able to get back up. So I find it interesting, the two kind of parallels to that. But
I have the Lego piece that fits in there perfectly, because I feel like then you need people around you that know, that tell you when they need to tell you, you know, and I think that separates a friend from, or a father, mother, whatever. If it's boys, girls, it doesn't really matter, you know, but you see your boy at the wrestling tournament going through like ups and downs, you know, gets taken down, is his first one, you know, he doesn't maybe know the techniques properly, who knows what the adversity is that he's facing, but then you are there to, in the right moment, equip him with the right words, and then when it reoccurs, it becomes self-sustainable, because then he knows from what you have been through, maybe it translates from something else, you know, that you face, but then you can give him the, you know, the words of wisdom or that piece of advice to be like, whoa, okay, I know now what to do. And that's good friendship, good parenting, good.
It's not just that, but it's also, I think when they're going through something hard, especially if you're not there, it gives them the opportunity to find wisdom and education elsewhere. Then, like, I'm not the only source.
Yeah.
A coach can say the same thing I will say to him, but because he's not me, it gets through to him better.
that's a good point. Yeah.
And so I'm always looking for those opportunities for my sons too. Is like, who are the people, you're one of them, that if my kids spend time around are going to hear things that I promote and agree with, that they will listen because it's not me. Therefore it must be true because Dad just wants the best for me. When someone has something hard to say, like a coach, go, hey, no, don't be upset you lost because of this, or you won because of this. Like, it's real because it's not Dad.
But that just shows a good coach as well. And you chose that wrestling, you know, gym for a reason, because you scoped it up beforehand. You got a feel for it, you know, you met those people. It's not just a random selection, because, you know, there's a lot of woo-woo out there as well, and maybe stuff that shouldn't be taught, but that's debatable. But yeah, I guess we all celebration is a part of celebration. We all three of us benefited from someone else who I would like to mention here now, which is the main mixed martial arts. He's the CEO. He puts everything together. Carlo Meister at CORE MMA. You know,
big shout out to Carlo.
Big shout out to Carlo. You know, like, even though I'm actually a little bit older than him, but you know, he is the man, you know, for us to look up to. He gives us, not just for mixed martial arts, like life advice, you know, like things that you should be doing. Always listens, you know, like points out the right things. And this is just someone that you want in your life, you know.
Yeah, definitely, like, not just a coach, also like plays a good like mental role in a lot of people's lives. So,
cares for you.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, and says the right things at the right time. But yeah, it doesn't, you know, of course you gotta, did you experience something different?
No, well, the reason I asked that question is because, I mean, you can't always speak for everyone, right? But for me, like, the times where I feel like I've grown the most as a person is always coming off the back of like the hardest times of my life. So there's been like 3 times in my life that's been like really hard. And off the back of that, that's where I feel like I matured or growed or kind of like leveled up after that. So yeah, it was just kind of interesting. Like, is it the same for like other people? Because everyone has different types of hardships, you know? Like, I would say I live, like, due to my parents, I was able to live like a very fortunate like childhood and upbringing. Like, not that I was like driving in flashy cars and like mansions or anything, but I always had, you know, food on my plate. Always had clothes on my back, like always had the right equipment I needed for school. So, but like, had someone who's just had nothing but hardships, can that just like make or break their trajectory, you know? Like, can that just like, can there be a point of hardship where you just can't come back from that? Like, is it like make or break in that aspect, I guess?
But then everything that has happened prior to you in your life should best case scenario prepare you for that moment, and then you overcome. It's almost like a calcification. Is that what it is, when like a crystal or like a bone breaks and it like comes back stronger? Basically, it's just the bonds are way way tighter and whatnot. And I feel like that's what it is each time. You need a bit of scaffolding around you, which of course is the right people, the right teachings, and the right environment. But eventually you are the one executing. You know, we can spend all day with you training, doing X, Y, Z, but you're the one who goes into the cage and has to perform against people like Mitch Kelly, Ram, you know, like all these like killers, literally. Like, what a pool of talent. So therefore, I reckon this is gonna sound a bit funny, but it's like the peanut butter jelly ratio. A little bit is given, because the golden rule is?
Yeah, so it's always 70-30. You always want that. Do we really have to like delve in deep into the ratio?
No, we're not diving deep into this, but what I'm trying to say with this is Ethan taught me that when you make a peanut butter jelly sandwich, it's 70% peanut butter, 30% jelly. And what I'm trying to say is 70%, you know, is maybe you can acquire all the stuff around you, but you know, you still got to push yourself over the edge to like make a decision or like then overcome, because no one else is going to be there. And I think martial arts is such an relevant example almost in that, you know, in that sense, because you know, you're in there by yourself performing and trying to, you know, fight all the demons, fight someone else who probably has the same dreams and aspirations to get to where you want to get.
And you're picking your fights too, which is something I think is quite unique about hanging around you guys. This is like a lot of you guys, you go through hard things, but you're deliberately choosing the hard things you want to go through, versus some people don't choose it, they wait for it to happen, and when it happens, like, oh, everything bad happens to me.
Yeah.
But you have to do something hard, you either choose to do it or not, and it's just different wording around people who choose to put themselves in the hard places versus people who are in a hard place but did not choose it. It's interesting to see what energy and vibrations you pick up on.
But that's also, you've been prepared for that. If no one's ever shown you, or if you never experienced anything like that around you, I'm talking about in person, I think watching a YouTube video and whatnot, that's not enough, but you know, someone...
Yeah, you're right. It's almost like that you could be the best martial arts fighter, doesn't mean it make you the best coach. Doesn't mean you know how to teach it really well.
Yeah.
So just because you've gone through hard things doesn't mean you know how to use that as fuel to get you through another hard thing. There is probably a level of reflection or skill or meditation or community required, having someone to ask questions. Hey, haven't you been through something like this before? I don't know, whatever it might be. But yeah, I don't think necessarily going through a hard thing means you're going to be more resilient. It's definitely a recipe or an ingredient.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, Tim's dropping flames right now, man.
The recipe ingredient, that's wow, that's really good, because then it makes it, you know, you can it sticks better. It is easier to remember, easy to keep in mind. Awesome. Do you want to add something onto that as well, or?
I think that was quite.
I think that was pretty much.
Rounded out. I feel like there's someone watching this podcast who's like writing down the quotes, and they're gonna be like selling them as T-shirts. Like, he's just like, oh, yep, thanks, Tim. Thank you.
You're gonna get that as a slogan probably on there at some point.
Yeah.
Fuck, awesome. No, I think that was. Thank you, Tim. That was just
that was beautiful.
The cherry on the cake. Let's leave it at that. We've been talking for like a little more than an hour. Before you wrap it up, because you are the one who's like closing the show, I would like you, Tim, to just come into the sit there, please, and just give a bit of background information.
That's right, man. It'll pick up on. You start, man.
Yeah, please give some background information on Adapt Media.
Kia ora, everybody. I'm Tim. I run a company called Adapt Media. It's a video-based production company located in Waikato, which is in New Zealand. Focus on short-form video for Instagram, TikTok. So real estate agents, businesses, brands, gyms, influencers, podcasts, anything video. I'm the guy for that. But there's one thing you recall, it's that I don't sell videos, I sell attention. Videos might not be the way for you, so if you're not sure, let's have a call and let's figure out what that best avenue to get attention would be, and I'll find you a dealer.
Absolutely.
Boom, done. But you're based in the Waikato, New Zealand, Hamilton, but that's like...
I'll travel anywhere.
Anywhere.
Want to take me to Tahiti?
Just name the date and the place and he'll be there.
Well, it's global, you know, like the way the world goes, you know, you can work from anywhere, do anything. So yeah, if you have any requirements, reach out to him, please. Instagram.
If you like doing things a little different, if you like being the same,
He's coming
I'm
back.
gonna say this.
Sell it to him, Tom.
Come back in.
If you want to be the same as everyone else, don't come to me. If you want to adapt a little bit and be a little different, you come and message me. But if you want to be the same and you message me, we're going to talk and we're not going to be a good fit, and I'm going to say, no, I don't want to work with you. That's how it's going to go.
This is why it's called Adapt Media.
100%.
Bam.
You want to stand out, you know the guy. You want to be like everyone else.
It's like how Cowboy Cerrone was always saying, I know a guy.
We know a guy.
Anyway, Ethan, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you again, this time on camera, with the proper audio, with the proper support of Tim, and you know, me trying to step up my game as well. I leave the closing chapter to you. Shout out to whoever. Tell the people what they want to hear. Maybe they don't want to hear it, but you've got a minute to just wrap things up.
Yeah, well, obviously I just want to thank you, Armin. As always, we thank each other probably privately every day, but it's always good to thank each other publicly.
Yes.
This was, it was quite cool to be invited back on and almost have like a trip down memory lane. But before I go, thank the people that support me. So big shout out to CORE MMA in Hamilton. If you want to train MMA, jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, wrestling, definitely come in and we'll sort you out. Big shout out to the homie, the mentor, Carlo Meister. That man's done a lot of great things for me and continue to does that, so always good. Shout out to my sponsors. So we have got Fresh Cut Barbers. All right, I mean it. If you're in Hamilton, there's a lot of chains, all right? You can get your haircut at any one of them.
Can we get the side profile just for a second?
Yeah,
just a little bit? Oh.
Okay, this isn't fresh, all right? This isn't fresh, right? This is like 2 weeks, but as you can kind of see, all right, they'll hook you up, all right? So shout out to Honna and the guys at the Fresh Barber Cuts Studio. Big shout out to MMA Addict, all right? This is all over New Zealand. You want any clothes, you want some apparel, you want any of the gear, go to MMA Addict. It's the best MMA gear in the business, guaranteed. Big shout out to Foundation Clinic, physios in Hamilton, all right? I think you've been to them, right? Pretty much a lot of people at CORE, when they're broken, you know, from the training, go
You can
there.
lose a leg, they put it back on. I don't know how they do it,
100%.
but they do it.
Yeah, it's like they've got the magic touch, let me just tell you that. Big shout out to Choker Bro as well. Shout out to my guy Chris Hickey. If you're into some jiu-jitsu merchandise, whether it's gis, t-shirts, rash guards, he's got you covered. And
Or privates one-on-one.
yeah, all privates one-on-one, absolutely. You want a Choker Bro, he's got some pretty good chokes, so yeah. And also just shout out to all my friends, you know, shout out to all the people that support me, and shout out to the Tron, you know. Yeah, peace and love.
Peace. All right, last one. Can I do one last one? Quick. I just wanted to give another quick shout out to another pivotal person, in Ethan's life, and just give a little quick packy to Craig Short, who
absolutely.
recently received the Coach of the Year award at the prize giving at CORE Mixed Martial Arts for all his efforts, and not just with Ethan, you know, like being his main trainer and mentor and whatnot for so many years, ever since he was basically able to train at what age?
Oh, gee, well, I started training with him probably when I was like 13, but my first fight was at 16, and he's been in my corner for every fight.
This is why I had 16 in my head, but either way, you know, I just wanted to give a quick packy to him, like congratulations. And then to our mutual friend who recently, of course, you know, accomplished something very humongous, and what an influence he is for all of us, is Mr. Gus Barrier, who recently ran for KidsCan. Go Boy Barrier. KidsCan in New Zealand provides the essentials for children in schools, you know, raincoats, breakfast, and just, you know, education comes second, you know, just to have something in your belly and they're protected. He ran 133 kilometers around the Hamilton Lake, and almost killed himself. But what an inspiration. Just this one is for you guys. Amazing Mahi that you're doing, and we are both privileged.
Yeah.
I can speak for both of us, all three of us, to have you in our lives, and just keep doing the good work, brother. And thank you once again, Ethan.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tim.
Welcome, guys.
Peace.